What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Season 9, Episode 5 of HTF Bets. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about the NBA, the MLB, and finishing off with our surefire picks of the week. You won't want to miss it because HTF Bets starts right now. And welcome back. Joining me at the desk, as always, to my right is Tyler Brownrigg. To my left is Andrew Gregg. We're starting the show off with him here this time, and you can just call us the Blue Man Group. We're all wearing blue today. How nice is that? But we are going to be talking
Unplanned, by the way.
Totally planned. We are going to be talking NBA for the first segment, and we're joined by Jan and Augie on the couch. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Ready to talk some ball.
All right, awesome.
Color coded. All blue.
Yeah.
We're also all blue.
We're all blue boys.
You're wearing blue?
Yeah,
Does not look
it's a
like
dark
you're not
blue.
going.
It's a dark blue, and I got the
It's a
more
very dark
royal
blue.
bluish.
Could
but
have
he's got
gotten a
dark
lighter
blue.
one. I mean, stay on theme, but whatever. I'm going to start with my pick. I have chosen Modest Buzelis from the Chicago Bulls to win Rookie of the Year. That might be a little bold. He is sitting at plus 1,000 odds. You know, he wasn't the first pick, Zachary Reese-Lachey. He wasn't the second pick, Alex Sarr, who did not look good in preseason, but he was in the G League Ignite. He had 16.5 points last season. And I think the main reason why I chose him is because he's from Chicago. Okay, so probably not the best reason. I know that, but it feels like a good storyline. He'll be coming off the bench to start, but he'll be one of those first players off the bench, along with Ayo DeSumo and Lonzo Ball if he ever plays again. Unfortunately, Jalen Smith as well. But that Chicago team, if they can get it together, I think they have a lot of talent behind Kobe White, Josh Giddey, who they traded for, Zach LaVine, if he's playing, and then Patrick Williams and Nikola Vucevic. I think he's a very talented player at 6'11". His birthday's actually in a month, by the way. But
out.
Chicago kid, going to his hometown team. I like the pick personally. I know it's a little bit bold. You seem like you might have some thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with you. I mean, there's not, for
Okay,
once.
thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know. This draft class was never really going to be that deep, and even starting from the top picks in the draft, a lot of people are saying that there isn't much to see there. Like when the Hawks ended up getting that pick, everyone was kind of not excited, and especially reactions from maybe Zion a couple of years ago, and even past drafts where Wemby coming out of the draft. This draft class was never that, so maybe taking a long shot in this rookie class isn't the worst idea.
Exactly. I kind of wanted to pick Reed Shepherd, going off my pick from
I was
last
really
week.
surprised you didn't pick Reed
Right?
Shepherd.
I'm a
honestly.
Rockets fan this season, next to the Heat. But I thought Modest Buzelis just had a better storyline, and at the end of the day, we kind of know that these big leagues are all about storylines.
It just feels like the Rookie of the Year race is just a total crapshoot. I mean, you look at DraftKings odds, Zach Edey is the favorite at plus
Yes,
550,
I saw that.
which is wild to me. So it's just no one really knows what to expect from this rookie class. Again, as we iterated before, it wasn't really a hyped up draft class. So there's no bad
pretty
answer
wide
really.
open.
Yeah.
It's definitely wide open. So that's going to be my pick. But Andrew, tell us about your pick.
Yeah, so my pick is for MVP, and I have taken Luka Doncic, which I think that it's finally his year. There's always an analyst that gets on ESPN or Fox or wherever and goes, Luka Doncic is going to win MVP this year, and it hasn't happened, but I think with the voter fatigue with Nikola Jokic, he's going to be set for one of his best seasons. And last season, he had a very sneaky season in which he averaged 30 points again, but he averaged 34 points, damn near 34 points. And he also was on pace to average a triple-double at some point of the season. He finished averaging 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. And it was not just 9 rebounds and 9 assists. It was 9.8 assists and 9.2 rebounds. So he was scary, close to averaging a triple-double, which is so insane because when Russell Westbrook was doing that a couple years ago, well, maybe not a couple years ago, feels like 8 now. But when he was doing that, the world was set on fire. And now when Luka Doncic is doing it, I think it was a lot less hyped up. But I think he's a solid pick, and he's the second odds-on favorite for MVP this year. And I think that with Nikola Jokic voter fatigue, I think he might be able to win it. Nikola Jokic has won it 3 of the last 4 years, so I don't see why they wouldn't want to give it to somebody else this year.
I don't hate the pick at all. Augie, before we get into your pick, do you think the guy that you're picking to win that award has any shot at MVP?
Yeah, well, first of all, the guy I'm picking for my award is Victor Wembanyama, the French phenom. But I think absolutely he has a chance to win MVP. I mean, he's got Chris Paul now. He's got a playmaking point guard to get him the ball. I can absolutely see him winning MVP. Maybe not next year. It might be a little soon, but 3-4 years down the line, could be a 2-3-time MVP at least. I think he's the future of the NBA, future of the league. We all know that by now. I mean, he's the most hyped up prospect since LeBron James. I mean, that guy's got he's got a shot at MVP this year, and for the rest of his career, he's going to win it at some point.
I like that take, but he's so good because of his defensive abilities, right? Tell us a little bit
absolutely.
about
I mean, he's sitting at minus 170 for the Defensive Player of the Year award now, which is the only player that I was looking through the DraftKings Sportsbook odds to be the negative or minus favorite for any award. Now, and you could say, oh, well, how come he didn't win this year? Why is he so heavily favored? They cheated him out of the award. I mean, they gave it to Rudy Gobert for his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, but he averaged a block and a half more and a half a steal more a game. He had almost 100 blocks more than Rudy Gobert did all season. So take that with a little grain of salt of why they gave it to Rudy Gobert. Who knows?
I
that.
think quite a few reasons.
You are not allowed to comment on that.
But yeah,
Okay.
I think it's Wemby's
I think
award.
winning is a big part of it.
Okay, who cares?
I think it's Wemby's award for him to win. He's obviously the heavy favorite. I think it's his award. He's going to go out and claim it. But they have Rudy Gobert at plus 13 or plus 1,300 odds, and also Bam Adebayo.
Love me
last
some
5
Bam.
years, I love Bam as a Heat fan. Last 5 years, he's been in the top 5 for Defensive Player of the Year voting. He's also at plus 1,300. So if you want a little bit more of risk, but a little bit more higher upside with your money, look at maybe those two guys sitting at plus 1,300. But
Heat fan?
as a general,
but-
I'd like Wemby to win.
Heat fan, but a Steelers fan. That's very interesting.
That is quite the combo.
It is.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just-
I like the Heat fan, but I mean,
My dad grew up a
Steelers.
Steelers fan, but I'm from South Florida, so
All right.
grew up a Heat fan.
That's fair. Okay. So sticking to basketball, Tyler, your pick is Jalen Johnson. For what award?
Yes, I'm picking Jalen Johnson to win Most Improved Player this year. His odds are sitting at plus 1,800, so I have the biggest long shot out of everyone here. And Jalen Johnson, there was a lot to like about his game last year. He started over 50 games, though he didn't play the whole season because he was on and off again with injuries. But there was a lot to like about his game. He averaged 16 points a game, which makes him Atlanta's 3rd leading scorer that is returning from last year. Bogdan averaged 16.9, so they're about the same. But the biggest thing is his efficiency was outstanding, shooting over 50% from the field and pretty good clip of 35% from 3. So I think with that efficiency, and now that DeJounte Murray is out, right, someone's got to make up that scoring load, and I think it's going to be Jalen Johnson. Obviously, we saw Bogdan at the Olympics, and he was outstanding, right, for Serbia. But I think Jalen is the guy they want. He's a much younger piece. He can be that co-star with Trae Young. So I think you're going to see him get a lot more touches this year, taking a lot more shots, and his game defensively also I think will take a big leap. He averaged almost 10 rebounds a game.
So do you think, because you mentioned his youth, do you think trading for Dyson Daniels will affect that pick at all?
I don't think so, because he's an established star in this league, right? Well, maybe star is a bit of a strong word. He's established. He's an established starter,
Okay.
right?
Rising star might be
rising
a little bit
star.
more fitting.
Yeah, it's like he can get you double-digit points. We might see the leap to 20 points per game. I don't know. Oh, maybe that's a bit bold, but I think that's what he'll need to do if he really wants to win this award. Because you look at Most Improved Player, there are other guys above him on the standings for this award, but it's like, these are known guys, right? Like, it's not something, like, we know Victor Wembanyama is great. We know Evan Mobley is great. The Most Improved, we want to see someone who isn't really known in the national audience to basketball take this giant leap into stardom, and that's what this award embodies.
That's fair. But we're going to move on to the final pick. Jan, who's your pick?
I picked Malik Monk to be the 6th man of the year. His odds are at plus 425. In back-to-back years, the 2023 season, the 2024 season, he had already been in top 5 for 6th man of the year. 23 ended up number 5, 24 ended up this, runner-up. So I definitely think this year is his year. Considering how open the West is, I think the Kings might take a leap, and they will really need Malik Monk's help. Last year, he averaged 15, 5, and 2 with splits of 44% from the field and 35 from 3. Solid, playing 26 minutes, coming off the bench, never started. So definitely looks like, in my opinion, the favorite to be 6th man of the year this year.
Okay.
I just think it's going to be a really good
Do we
year.
think that the addition of DeMar DeRozan will affect that at all, limit his scoring a little bit? Will he even be the sixth man anymore?
No, DeMar is definitely going to start, and they play very differently. Malik doesn't need the ball so much in his hands if DeMar is running it. He's pretty fast off ball as well. So I think they'll be able to blend in together. And this Kings team is looking really good. Like I said, I think Malik Monk is really going to take this team to the next level coming off the bench.
Sure.
I've yet to hear a reason why it shouldn't be Naz Reid. Why he's going to lose it this year? It doesn't make.
It's
see why
been
he would.
5 shows, not even, and I'm already tired of the Minnesota.
It will never go away.
Naz Reid.
We miss you, Kat. I love
Okay,
you.
that's enough. All right, that's enough for this segment. Thank you for tuning in. After this commercial, we will be talking about the MLB, so don't go anywhere.
Hello, Hitting the Field family. My name is Andrew Montana, host of Season 19 of The Main Show. And on behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content. But I'm here to tell you about everything else we have to offer here at the network. Mondays at noon, HTF Bets goes live with 3 of the best on-air faces we have in the program. Andrew Gregg's personality, Tyler Brownrigg's sports expertise, and Nick Cohen's versatility make this show a fan favorite, but also a warm light to guide you through the harsh world that is the sports betting industry. On Tuesdays, Frankie Noble hosts a brand new show called Girls Got Game, blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next up, we've got The Combine, an easygoing, conversational, and podcast-style show dropping on Wednesdays with Ty Patton as your host. No changes there. But a big change for The Combine is the set. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to The Combine from our brand new podcast studio. We've got the lights, we've got the cameras, all for Ty Patton to bring the action, and we hope you're just as excited as we are for this amazing opportunity. Much great content from The Combine this semester, as always. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for our second live show, The Main Show, hosted by, well, yours truly. Here we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure, be it basketball, football, hockey, soccer, UFC, MMA, cycling, even baseball. But be sure to tune in throughout the semester for our special shows, including drafts, debates, and much, much more. Lastly, Nighttime is aired on Fridays, where Patrick Previty and Matthew Bracker talk about UCF and college sports. From in-depth looks at campus's top storylines to collegiate records being broken nationwide, let Nighttime be your primary college sports resource. And outside of our 5-show roster, be sure to tune into our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog run by Vlog King Nick Cohen, breaking news graphics on our Instagram page, and much more. As well, make sure you're subscribed to Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, as well as following us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. But as for me, I've been Andrew Montana. Thank you so much for watching, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And welcome back. The World Series, the MLB playoffs is starting soon, so we have to talk about it. But joining us for this segment is John Warner. How are you doing, sir?
That's right, Nico. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to jump right into my pick. I wasn't very bold with this just because.
Not at all.
Not at all. But you know what? I was bolder than someone else here.
Ah.
So I chose the Yankees to win the World Series at plus 400 odds. And if that happens, I think, it's not really much of a discussion that Aaron Judge would win the MVP, the World Series MVP. He's just been insane this season. He leads the Yankees, and they're a stacked team, as we all know. I mean, they're second favorited to win the World Series. He leads the team in every single major stat, which is batting average, his home runs. He has 58 on the season, which is just absurd. He leads the team in RBIs, on batting percentage, and his hits. It's just ridiculous. They do have some other guys that deserve to be shouted out, like Juan Soto and Alex Verdugo and Giancarlo Stanton, former Marlin, and Jazz Chisholm Jr., former Marlins, unfortunately.
Best player on the team this season.
Yeah,
before he left.
Before he left. So I don't think, I know it's not very bold to choose the Yankees, but I did it anyway. So stay mad about that. So
I think you could argue it is a bit bold with the Yankees because we see this every year with the Yankees, right? They're this star-studded team, biggest payroll in the league. Oh my God, how could you not pick them the World Series? They are a bit like the Cowboys of the MLB, I will say.
Maybe like the Tampa Bay.
Haven't been relevant since the 2000s in terms of winning titles. It's just not. They just can't do it.
They're definitely in contention more than the Cowboys are, 100%.
Oh, for sure. Yes. But you still expect them to lose in October.
They should have won the year that the Astros cheated. So, they've definitely been within title relevancy. At least they've been, in the ALCS.
Yeah, but they didn't, so who cares?
Well, John Warner, what are your thoughts on the Yankees pick?
So kind of going along with what Tyler said, I remember Tyler actually picked them to win the World Series in the semester previous to this, and I had a little cautions with that. I was like, I don't really know about the Yankees, but their biggest issue to me is their infield depth. Yes, their starters are fine. Garrett Cole is always going to be there. Carlos Rodon. They are down Nestor Cortez right now, but they'll be okay. Their bullpen's fine, but their infield is just like, really? DJ LeMahieu was awful this year. He's hurt now, but he probably won't even make the roster if he is healthy. Ben Rice is our first baseman, really, and Anthony Volpe, he's been kind of disappointing. Like you mentioned, former Marlin, Jazz Chisholm, is playing out of position at third base. That's how desperate this team is for infielders, but you can't really argue against Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. That's pretty much as good as it gets in a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, John Warner, you're supposed to be rooting for me. You're supposed to be on my side.
I'm always rooting for you, Nico.
Thank you.
I have the glasses of truth on. I'm not blinded by
Thank you.
optimism.
I mean, I guess whatever. But your pick. Who's winning the World Series in your eyes?
So unlike the rest of you, I actually took a bold pick, and I chose the Houston Astros. Now, it might seem a little hypocritical because the Astros have been the standard of Major League Baseball over the past 7 years. They have 7 consecutive American League Championship Series appearances. They've won the American League 4 times, and they've won the World Series 2 times in that span. But now we've seen they're kind of on the back end of their dynasty. They're no longer the dominant team they once were. They didn't get close to 100 wins this year, and as a result, they're playing in the wild card round this weekend against the Detroit Tigers. That's honestly my favorite series of the whole playoff first round. Tigers are hot. The Astros are looking to stay the top of the American League. But my pick to win MVP is Yordan Alvarez, and he is consistently one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball. He is a notorious postseason hitter. Last year he hit over 400 in the playoffs, 6 homers, 15 RBIs. So if the Astros do end up going all the way, it's very clear that Yordan Alvarez will be the MVP, and that'll be the reason why they win.
You've convinced me, but the Astros are sitting at a plus 850. I may already be bailing on the Yankees. I don't know, but
That's all it took.
I don't know. I mean, listen.
such weak resolve you
Okay,
have.
well, listen. If you take the Astros, you make more money, and I'm about making money. Even though I don't do it often, I'm about it. So
In theory, the idea of making money.
exactly, it's a great idea. I should do it more.
I would love
Andrew,
to do that more.
Who's your pick to win the World Series?
Yeah, so my World Series pick is the Phillies, and I have them winning the World Series because of just in general, how they started the season was absolutely insane. They started on a tear right before the All-Star break. Unfortunately, they did come back to earth a little bit, which was unfortunate for the pick, but it did bring the odds back up a little bit, so that was ideal. They have one of the best starting rotations in the league between Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, that 1-2 punch. They're always in the conversation for Cy Young Awards. Aaron Nola got to 200 innings pitched yesterday, which was obviously amazing, and he had a bunch of, he's a strikeout weapon. Zach Wheeler is one of the best strikeout weapons that there is in the league, so obviously their 1-2 punch there is awesome, and then they have one of the best starting, between their batters, they have Bryce Harper on that team, they have Trey Turner, they have Nick Castellanos, they have Alec Boehm, who was in he was part of the All-Star festivities, just this whole team is a star-studded team, and from top to bottom, there isn't really a hitter where you can kind of single out and then say, hey, this is the hitter that we want to target. From 1 through 7, that whole first 2 innings that you have to go through is one of the toughest in baseball. And with their starting pitchers between Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, I think that they can definitely take it home. They also have a lot about baseball playoffs is your bullpen, and they have the 3rd best ERA of remaining teams for bullpen. Bullpen ERA. So I think that the Phillies are definitely a solid pick, and I don't see why not.
Okay. And the Phillies did have the 2nd best record in the MLB this season.
Yeah.
But
even after tailing off a little bit.
Exactly. The best record did go to a team we're going to mention in just a second. So, Tyler, who's winning the World Series, and why is your MVP Dustin May?
I believe that it is not controversial in any way to say that the LA Dodgers will be winning the World Series this year. When you talk about a star-studded lineup, it does not get better than this. For hitting, you have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, some guy named Shohei Ohtani, who I'll talk about a little more in detail later. And then you go to the pitching. Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Walker Buehler, Gavin Stone. These are all names we know that have been great for this organization. And the Dodgers, they need to win the World Series this year just to really legitimize this team and to legitimize all that they've done, to all the resources they have invested into building this current roster. The last time they won the World Series was the COVID year, so no one really cares about that, right? They only played 60 games. There wasn't any fans. A bit of an asterisk to it, right? They haven't won a World Series in a full regular season in quite some time. But they have one key difference maker on this team. My real MVP to win the world for this team, Shohei Ohtani. Where to even begin with this guy?
I've never heard of him.
He has created the 50-50 club this season. 50 home runs, 54 to be exact, over 50 bases stolen. And this guy is doing all this. He's playing, this is only 50% of what he's capable of. He's not even pitching for him. They're only getting half of what they're paying for from Shohei, and he's the best player in baseball, one of the best players we've ever seen, finally going to the postseason, and I think he's really going to be able to shine there.
Wouldn't you love him on the Twins?
God, would I? Oh, my God.
Keep
Twins
dreaming, bud.
Suck.
It's okay. John Warner, what are your thoughts on the Dodgers and the Phillies? I know you didn't pick them, but are they valid?
So with the National League as a whole, it's just everyone is so tight together that it's really hard to pick a favorite. No one's really emerged as a team that's like, oh yeah, they're going to win. And you would think that might be the Dodgers, but when you look at them a little closer, what do the Dodgers do in the playoffs? They choke. That's what they always do, aside from their Mickey Mouse 2020 championship in the bubble. But other than that, they have lost in the first round the previous 2 years. And then I want to kind of spin that into the Phillies because, yes, they've had postseason success the last few years. They made the World Series and they made the NLCS last year. But now this time the difference is that they're a favorite. They are no longer the underdog. The last 2 years we've seen in the NLDS, they've upset the Braves who won 100 games both times. But this year the roles could be a little bit reversed. The Braves are a team to watch. They've had a ton of injuries, a very disappointing year for them. But all they have to do is win one game today against the Mets in about 30 minutes. If they win 1 or 2 games today that they play, they will make the playoffs. And then they kind of take that underdog role along with either the Mets or the Diamondbacks. So it'll be interesting to see how the Phillies approach this playoffs now with the first round bye, which they have not had in the previous 2 postseasons. So that's kind of been a lament of the teams in the National League, the Dodgers and the Braves. They said that the bye has hurt them a lot. So we'll see if it affects the Phillies this year at all and how that plays into their postseason plans now that they get to set their rotation, they get to set their lineup how they want it. So I'll be interested to see how that works out.
I will too. The playoffs start very soon. Thank you very much for joining us, John Warner. That is all the time we have for this segment. But after this commercial, we will be doing our Surefire Picks of the Week, so don't go anywhere.
Jack, buddy. Why are you here?
I don't really understand why I'm here. I got called a delusional fan. I just don't understand why I'm delusional if I think Kirk Cousins had the best mustache in the league.
Well, Jack, buddy, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but I don't think anybody looks cool in handlebars.
But they're back, man. They're back.
They're not. They're not. Sometimes you just got to face the hard truth. It's right there in front of you. All these people, they're calling you delusional, but sometimes you got to worry about, am I projecting? Is it me? And in this
Let me
case,
tell you something, bud. It could never be me. Anything I say is factual and truth, and that's why the Vikings are going 16-1 this year.
organization, you have to look at your roster and say, I've had Kirk O'Thuggins for 6 years. Maybe it's time to move on.
There is no moving on from Kirk Thuggins and Justin Jefferson.
Do you think that maybe this all started just because of a little disappointment?
Nothing has started. This is how I live, and I am not delusional.
And welcome back. It is everyone's favorite time of the week. It's time for our Surefire Picks. Just to go over some of the records, Tyler and Andrew are sitting at 0-4, but it's okay. It's okay. It's a new week, a new pick. We can bounce back. And then I'm sitting at 2-2. I've been on a bit of a losing streak, so we're gonna try and change that this
Are
week.
you familiar with the definition of insanity?
Yeah,
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting
which is
a
why I'm
different
changing
result?
it up. I'm changing it up, so just stay tuned for my pick, but we are going to start with your pick. And as always, I'm rooting for you guys. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I genuinely
you
am.
Say it. in
It
a
sounds like
condescending
it,
way.
doesn't it?
Yes.
But I promise I'm not.
I think it's just your tone of voice. That might be it.
I think I'm being
Stop
pretty
doing a
calm.
bit.
What bit?
This is so a bit.
It,
All right,
nah,
you're
nah.
not. all
You're
right.
going to be 1-4 next week. I believe in you.
I don't believe you saying that. All right, but I'm going to get into it. So there was no NFL, as you saw into this segment, so we made it up in Surefire Pick. We're all doing NFL. So I'll start off with one of the Monday Night Football games, Lions Seattle Seahawks. I'm going with the Lions to win this. Lions money line at -200. I'm going with over on the total points, sitting at -110. And Kenneth Walker's back. He's going to be fully healthy. He will score this week. He will score tonight, and that anytime touchdown odds sitting at +110. This total parlay is sitting at +501 total odds. I'm desperate, all right? I really am. It's been bad. This is my first NFL one. I haven't done NFL yet, so maybe this will be it. I know NFL quite a bit, I'd like to think. And you got your wins on NFL.
I did.
So maybe this will be the difference.
Yep.
Will it actually happen? Probably not, because I think God
some
hates
faith.
me.
Yeah.
Have some faith.
What is
What
there
are
to
we
have
doing?
faith about,
Okay,
Andrew?
never mind.
You're
What are we
also
doing?
0-4.
Okay. Yep.
Shots fired.
All right.
Okay.
I wanna hear it.
I'm just going to say, I do kind of like your pick. Kenneth Walker, it is in the positives to get an anytime touchdown. I like the Lions' defensive line quite a bit, so I think that's your riskiest one. But we'll see. I'm rooting for you, okay? Andrew, what about your pick?
Yeah, so my surefire pick of the week, which is going to hit this week. Unfortunately, we have had to wear the black suit all of the last couple weeks. I've switched up this week. I'm not going to be depressed this week, even though we
So
are
maybe
0-4.
something will change.
Yeah, hopefully.
The mindset.
It is a mindset
New suit,
thing.
new you.
So I have the Titans money line, and I'm going with the Tyler approach, and I'm betting against my actual team so that I can find a win, either a win in happiness or a win in surefire picks of the week.
My team lost that week.
Yeah. So maybe
And
not
his pick.
Maybe
He lost. He
maybe-
just lost.
Maybe not the way to go. But I'm starting off with the Titans money line sitting at +110. I also have the under 37, and then Will Levis for anytime, like not an anytime touchdown, over half a passing touchdown. I think that if Will Levis, this is completely correlated, because if Will Levis can't get half a passing touchdown, then then the Titans probably won't win this game. But the Dolphins are unfortunately one of the worst teams in the NFL without Tua Tagovailoa, just because of the quarterback situation. Otherwise, Skylar Thompson obviously wasn't the answer last year, and we are taking Tyler Huntley.
Pro bowler.
Yeah,
Pro bowler.
Pro
That
bowler,
is a Pro Bowl
Tyler
quarterback
Huntley.
you're
That
talking
was
about right there.
that was one of the saddest Pro Bowls of all time.
Yep.
So yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't. When Lamar Jackson got injured and then he had to come in, right?
They just,
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
they just gave it to him anyway.
But
Why not?
yeah, so I think that the Dolphins are just going to be one of the saddest teams to watch. So right now, and the Titans money line is currently sitting at plus money, so that is probably one of the best parts of the parlay. And then Will Levis over half a passing touchdown is -270, so definitely juiced. But I think that the odds are still at +360, so something that you should play, and I think that it definitely could hit. The under 37, I don't think any of these teams are meant for scoring. So.
I like the approach that theoretically you could win either way.
Yes.
However, I will say this week I'm not really rooting for you because I want the Dolphins to win.
Yes.
And really quickly before I get into my surefire pick, isn't it so funny how people will trash on Tua and just say how he's not good, but then they'll go ahead and say that the Dolphins are a top 5, maybe top 10 team with Tua, and then we're bottom 5 without Tua.
Interesting how that works.
Right? Yeah, so surely Tua has to be at least decent.
I'd say
Whatever,
so.
I digress. My pick is not going to be for Monday Night Football, not only because they already took it, but because I have not hit on the last 2 of them. So I'm going to go with Thursday Night Football, which I have hit on before. So we're going right back to it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. I know Ty and John and every single other Buccaneers fan in here will be very happy. My total parlay odds are sitting at +709. The first leg of that is Bucs money line. They are not favored for some reason. They have the better record. They have the more impressive wins. They did lose to the Broncos. We're not going to really touch on that. That was a fluke. I'm sorry, Matthew. But
things
that's
happen.
sitting at +120. And then I hate going on unders, okay? Overs are my thing in betting, but I'm going under 43 points, okay? I feel good about that for some reason. And that's sitting at -110. And then this one kind of goes hand in hand. Bucks +2.5 because they are not favored. I know that goes with the money line, but I needed a third leg, so that's kind
spread
of
If you
too.
do
That's kinda
win,
it.
if you do hit this is a Mickey Mouse win.
and
You-
I'll
you-
take it.
You definitely
because you
double
know
it.
what? Mickey Mouse win will get me my third one, which will give me the Bets host record. So
my
just a
God.
little bit of insight for you guys at home.
I'm only 3 away.
You are.
Only
so are
3
you.
away.
It's okay. So we're all going to hit this week, though. I'm confident. I said this the last couple weeks, but we're going to just keep on saying it till it happens. That is all the time we have for the show, though. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.